Everything on the table here. See all this and a few behind me? All of this came out this year. I had tried to record this video a couple times actually in prior weeks, and every time I was about to sit down and do it, another new album came out. So I waited till the last minute to do this, and I think that I have got every album that came out that I want to talk about. I think they're all out now. I don't think there'll be any more surprises at this point. But you know, 2020 has been a really horrible year for nearly everybody in so many different ways. But you know what? I would argue that musically, 2020 has probably been the best year that I can remember, at least in my lifetime, which is not so long, but within my lifetime, I think 2020 has produced some of the greatest recordings that I have ever heard, and that is no exaggeration. I truly mean it. And I think by the end of this video, you will see just the incredible amount of music that came out this year and how amazing all of it is. I'm going to share with you all of the albums that really spoke to me and ones that I just really love. And you know, that's what these videos were supposed to be about, is just me sharing the music I love. And all the albums I'm going to talk about today, everything that was released that I'm talking about, it's all stuff that really touched me and something that just really means a lot to me. We'll close out the video then with my top 15 picks out of everything that came out this year. I've narrowed it down to my top 15, and I'll be very excited to share those with you. So stick around, we're going to go through some really incredible music today. On a previous episode, I talked about two of my absolute favorite artists of all time, being Bill Frisell and Thollem. Well, guess what? Both of them have new releases out this year, and they are absolutely incredible, all of them. With Frisell, we got a new recording in his trio format, and that was titled Valentine. I've really enjoyed listening to this one, and it was on my most played albums this year on Apple Music, so I definitely would say I enjoyed that just a little bit. He also appeared on a Grammy-nominated, recently announced Grammy-nominated album titled Americana, and that is a true treat to listen to. I'll let you check that one out to see what you think of it, but there's some secret surprises on there. Thollem released an incredible array of albums this year. We mentioned a few of those in the previous video, including his Hot Pursuit of Happiness series, and then he also has this incredible album. This is the Gowanus Sessions Volume 2 with Thollem, Parker, and Klein on CD and vinyl, and I'm really happy that it came out on vinyl and that I got it. Here's the back cover. It's a super high quality pressing. It sounds absolutely great. Highly suggest getting that. But his most recent project actually just came, I think it just started last month and is going to continue into next year, and that is the Astral Traveling Sessions. Now, this is such a cool project. It's really a massive project. It's a subscription series through Bandcamp. Right now there's a few digital releases that are absolutely stellar, just breathtakingly stellar. I mean, I put on the most recent release and was just captivated beyond words. The release show he did with Thollem and Escobar, just superb, absolutely incredible listening. That promises to have some physical releases next year. There will be lots more digital releases, so that's going to be a super cool project to follow along with and see what happens. There's one more album from Thollem that will be in my top 15, so stick around to see what that one is. We also talked about Ronda Records turning 50 this year, and in their 50th year, they gave us, to best of my knowledge, as I could count, they gave us 13 new records this year, and among them, the highlights for me were SteelDrivers, came back at the beginning of the year with a new album. Katie Pruitt, debut album. I have an autographed blue vinyl copy right here. This one is really nice to listen to. Della came back with a new record this year, and it's kind of a new style, new sound for them. I really enjoyed that one. Then we got one from Logan Ledger, a self-titled record. This is super good, really, really good. This was also on a heavy rotation for me. And a few more that we'll get to in my top 15. We also talked about the iconic record label ECM earlier this year, and if my count is correct, they gave us 22 new records this year. All of them are super great. It would be very easy for me to just say go and look up each and every one of them because you won't be disappointed whatsoever, and that's true. But I will give you a few top picks out of those 22, and then a few more in my top 15 at the end of this video. So let's see where to start. We have here the Suspended Harp of Babel. This is a really incredible album. Beautiful, beautiful music from vocal music from Estonia. This was a huge pleasure to listen to. Then we have one, Michel, Benita, Looking at Sounds. I really enjoyed this record a ton, especially with the Fender Rhodes and electronics on there. It was so, they always came in at just the right moment. It always sounded just absolutely incredible. This has been on really heavy rotation for me, and I discovered I'm not the only one that thinks that it's so good, because this was on a lot of top pick lists this year, so that was a great one. John Scofield gave us a new record, Swallowtails, with Bill Stewart and Steve Swallow. This is really fun to listen to. Great, just an absolute great collection. Then we have this beautiful record, absolutely an incredible recording. Just I love every bit of it. I will be honest, I would not try to butcher these names. I took French, I forgot all of it, so I would just put the picture up and not try to offend these people by saying their names incorrectly. But this is just it's a very fascinating record for me. It's pretty light at times. You know, it's sparse, it's light, delicate music, and then just at the right time, they explode into this perfect, really intense improvisation. So it's just such a perfect blend of sparse and dense music all at once. And then if we go to the very beginning of this year, we got two really incredible records. We got one titled Here Be Dragons. This one was absolutely great. I love this one. It was on heavy rotation for me. And then one by the Carla Bley Trio, Life Goes On. You know, Carla Bley Trio had two prior releases on ECM before this one. And those were good, but they didn't really hit me the way that this one did. This one, for me, I don't know, something about it, it was just, I couldn't turn it off as soon as I heard it, and it was on repeat for many weeks. So this one was like a game changer for me. This was, in my opinion, their best work yet. So we'll get to a few more ECM releases in the top 15, but that's overview for now. Most recently, 2 weeks ago, we got to catch up with the wonderful Jaap Blonk. That was a huge thrill and pleasure. He has released a total of 5 albums this year. We talked about a few of those in the video. One of them is in the mail, and who knows when it will ever reach me with how slow the mail is right now. But one that did reach me is this one that we talked about in that interview. This is the Retirement Overdue album titled New Start, and this is really great. It's actually a 2 CD set, so you got lots of listening here. And then there's also one more that I want to draw attention to. It's really special for me because it was from a concert he did last fall in Chicago. So it's a live recording of that, and I was there. And actually on the back cover of that, you can see just about half of my back to the camera is sitting in the audience. So that's really cool to be forever on that record cover, or the back of the record cover rather. But that was such an incredible night of and just really amazing music, and I'm so happy that is forever accessible to future listeners, because it was well worth it. Okay, just a few more releases to get through, and then we'll get to my top 15 picks. First, we'll start with 2 new singles that came from, I think, a new record label that just started this year, though I could be wrong about that, but I think they did just start, and that's No Town Records. They gave us a few releases this year, but among those 2 really stood out to me. First is this one from Heavy Seals. This is titled Hieroglyph of Thought. This is a really nice 7-inch record for laptop and prepared 12-string guitar. So if that sounds intriguing to you, definitely get this and listen to it, because it's really great. Then on a much more limited amount is this wonderful record from one of my favorites, Jad Fair. You know how much I like Jad Fair, and this is with his brother David Fair in a quantity of 25 of these, so I'm really happy I got one of them. There's 3 new songs from them. That's really nice. And we get to more Jad Fair music in a little bit. Where else? Oh, Negativland. According to the end of year review from Apple Music, Negativland was my most listened to group. I was a little surprised by that, because I didn't think I listened to them that much, but if you listen to one album a few times, that's a couple hours, because their albums are usually at least an hour, or sometimes they're double discs, so they're even bumping 2 hours. So yeah, it adds up. Well, they gave us a new record this year, and it is just absolutely amazing. I won't spoil it if you haven't heard it yet. If you have, you know what I'm talking about. There's some really fun, amazing moments in there from at least one of my favorite people or characters in the Negativland context. So check that out. It's absolutely a joy to listen to. Also, someone that we talked about, but it was also on one of my most listened to this year, was artist Sam Amidon. He gave us a new record right towards the end of the year. It was really great. It won't be out on vinyl until February of next year, which is a little sad, but the digital so far has been absolutely great. It's some reworkings of some old folk tunes like he used to do, so this is really cool to get another kind of installment of that. On that same record label, None Such Records that he's on, there also was a really intriguing project by composer Sarah Kirkland Snyder. That album was titled Mass for the Endangered. So even if you didn't listen to this, if you just would read the description of it, I think you'd be very intrigued by the point of this music and where the composition came from. And then, of course, when you do listen to it, the music is just breathtaking. It's absolutely beautiful and really mesmerizing, and I just love the piece, love the concept, so I highly recommend checking that album out. Then we go from here to all the way to Ukraine, where one of my favorite bands ever in the whole world is at, DakhaBrakha. They gave us a new album towards the beginning of this year, titled Alambari, and you know, DakhaBrakha could give us a new album every day for all I care. I love them. They actually waited about 4 years. I think the previous record came out in 2016, so we had to wait 4 years, but it was well worth the wait. This is an incredible new recording. Definitely check that one out. If you're new to DakhaBrakha, now is the time to become very acquainted with them because they are great. Keller Williams also announced a very enjoyable project. It's digital only, and the whole thing is not out as of the time of this recording, but it will be very soon. But the 2 singles that are out so far are just really incredible. It's just fun to hear this, what he's doing. He's partnered with Aerothyme, I hope I'm saying that right. And this will be a really fun project. I can't wait to hear it when the entire thing is released. Lastly, the record label Relative Pitch Records has had an amazing amount of releases this year. Just way too many to talk about. They were all super good. So I will say, please check out everything that Relative Pitch has released this year because you will not be disappointed in the least in any of them.